Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of our. You're all welcome to another episode of our live forex trading session, where we are going to be examining different currency pairs, and we are going to be analyzing them based on price action and other technical trading tools. We had our session on Monday and another one on Wednesday. That was yesterday. And today is going to be the last live trading session for the week. We started the live session last week, and I really thank every one of you that you had made this possible. I really appreciate your presence and your attendance. So guys, I have some currency pairs I've already listed here on my watch list that we are going to be analyzing. And if you have any question, we will be taking those questions also. The minimum we are going to be using is an hour, depending on how the analysis goes. We can now extend it into like 2 or 3 hours. So that's how it's going to be. So yesterday when we had the analysis session, I gave a call on USD CHF, and we checked euro dollar DXY and gold, to be precise. And gold did exactly as we analyzed yesterday. We're expecting a correction of ABC, zigzag correction for gold, and that's what gold trade did. So guys, let's come in. As you are coming in, thank you for letting us know. Mr. Zakaria Ahmed, thank you for coming in, watching live on YouTube, right? All right, thank you so much. So kindly share this live session as you are coming in, and let's see how it goes. So we are going to be we are going to be looking at the crypto pairs, Ethereum and Bitcoin. We are going to be analyzing them and what I think is happening right there. Then we are going to be looking at USD pairs, followed by the GBP pairs and the indices, Nasdaq and US 500. Then we are going to do an analysis on JPY pairs, because this week we haven't checked JPY at all. We're going to be looking at either GBP JPY or New Zealand JPY. And when we are done with that, we are going to look at the Euro pairs, Euro CAD, Euro GBP, Euro Australia, and Euro New Zealand. Then we are going to finally look at the Australian pairs and New Zealand pairs. I was able to get a setting right here where I can add music to the background. Let's see if I can still get that done on my streaming device here, because I can't remember how I did it yesterday. Let me see. Video file. No. Subcam settings. Let's see. Okay. I can't find it anymore. So let me just continue that way. Oh yeah, I found it. Let's see. I don't like this music. Is this music not too boring? Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, let's put this music and as a background music so that the analysis session won't be too boring for us. Okay, right now, without wasting any of our time, I'm going to start the analysis straight from gold. We're going to start the analysis straight from gold. But before then, let me just inform you guys on my Telegram channel that we have started the live session already. Okay. Let's see. Okay guys, let's start the analysis from gold. Let's see what gold is currently doing and what gold has to offer us. As you can see, right now gold is as if it's pushing lower. I posted this analysis on the VIP channel this morning that there is a sell opportunity right here with the invalidation level at 1842.000. I did this analysis yesterday on the in the live stream that we are expecting a correction of ABC, which is the minimum correction up to the upside here, and that's exactly what market did. When the FOMC news was released, we had this bullish move to the upside, and that helped us to achieve what we already analyzed, that we are going to see a push up here, which will then be followed by a correction to the downside, then a push to the upside, giving us an ABC. Can you see that massive fall just now? Okay. Trying to adjust my stop loss. And yep. Okay. Yes. If you go back to the video, that is the video of the live stream we had yesterday, you're going to see that this is exactly what I analyzed for gold. That gold is going to reverse into one of these region. So the first region is 38.2, then 50, then 61.85 Fibonacci level. I marked those points as my potential reversal zone, and that is what gold did. What prompted me to this analysis was the fact that I was able to spot a complete 5-wave pattern right here. I have my wave 1, wave 2, and the whole of this down move I counted as my wave 3. Then I have a correction to the upside to be my wave 4, and downward is my wave 5. And as we know, according to the Elliot wave theory, whenever we have a 5 wave to the downside, then we should be expecting a movement to the upside that is going to correct that current what are they calling it? Thank you for joining us. That's Gold Reaper. You're welcome to our live session. I hope you are currently in the gold sell position if you're a Gold Reaper. Okay, all right guys, after this correction I was expecting that the minimum that will happen is maybe ABC correction, and you know you can never predict a corrective pattern until it's ended. So right now I can't really say that okay, the ABC pattern is the only correction that gold can do right here, but the fact that it has fallen into this reversal zone is giving me like a 60% assurance that the market is ready to sell. And when I say sell, I mean it's going to be falling from this region to nothing less than 1766. So how did I make 1766 my target, my profit target? Just by using my Fibonacci level, taking the whole of this, what are they calling it? This down move. Let me zoom in so that you can see properly. Yeah. Adjusting my Fibonacci, I was able to check out, yeah. So my target is the 161.8 Fibonacci level. But if at the same time I want to be a bit conservative, my target for gold should be, okay, let me just do it this way. I'm going to take the whole of this correction movement and see where the 161.8 Fibonacci level falls on, and that will be here. So let me mark this as my first target. Now let's see if this price level that I marked as my first profit target, does it fall on any previous support or resistance zone. Going back to history, you see that this is a resistance region right here. So then we can use this to serve as our price target levels. Now let's mark this as our first target. And we mark this as our second price target, and we're going to mark this as our third target. So, but if we are to look at it in a very holistic manner without looking at a high profit return, someone that is scalping and is just looking for taking profit as soon as possible, then what I will recommend is putting the take profit target somewhere here, because this is another resistance zone. So this can now be the minimum take profit. That would be a minimum take profit for gold. So that's why I like trading gold most of the time, but I see so many traders that are afraid of trading gold, and there's no other reason to that, because it's so volatile. So gold is good at rewarding a very good analyst, because gold is a currency, don't let's say it's a currency, it's a commodity that has been there over time and is very stable. So it hardly disobeys your analysis. Most of the time there may be volatility, there may be a lot of correction, but whenever it's ready to go the right trend, it's going to move massively without wasting your time. So at times in a day you can be seeing a minimum of like 200 pips, 300 pips in total from gold trade alone. So that's why whenever I want to trade gold, I used to be very careful. I may prefer waiting and just being patient for like 2-3 weeks, but when I'm ready to go in, I make sure I've seen a setup that is perfect and it's going to be very rewarding, that with what will worth my stay out of the market. So right now, since the beginning of this fall, I wasn't in a trade for gold. I was just waiting and seeing what will gold do. You know, I make sure I follow this countdown. I saw that wave 1 has completed. Fine, I was waiting. I saw this opportunity to buy. That was day before yesterday morning. when I woke up, price was trading around here, and I already did this analysis. I saw this the divergence on the RSI. This is the divergence. I saw it already, but I didn't join the trade. I was waiting. I was anticipating. So the reason why I didn't join this buy trade is because I knew it's going to be a correction, and correction can be as little as possible, and it can be as complex as possible. So I don't want to disturb myself with that, having unnecessary headache. What I have to do is I wait for the correction to complete, and from my analysis, the minimum this correction is going to do is an ABC correction to the upside, and that's what it did. We analyzed this before it happened yesterday. Yesterday, market was still around here, price was pushing up, and I have some questions. Someone asked me in the chat section that, oh, can I sell now? I said no, because the whole of this move looks like an impulse. There should be 2 legs more, and this was the first leg that happened, I think, due to the news that was released yesterday, and then we had another push to the upside to complete our ABC pattern. Then it gave us an opportunity to take the sell position. So if you ask me, is there any alternative view for this analysis, or do I have any let me say second scenario for gold right now? I can put that. Let me try and put that on another chart so that we won't mix it up with what I currently have right here. Okay, open a new chart. Okay, but this time around I'm going to open gold for Ohanda. Yeah, fine. Could you see can you see that this is a clean chart of gold? Now let's look at it deeply and see if we are going to have an alternative scenario. This is the down move to the downside. Fantastic. And this is the first leg of correction, second leg of correction, and third leg of correction. ABC, fine. So if we want to look at an alternative scenario, what we are going to be looking at is a possibility of double zigzag. This is what I mean. A situation whereby this first leg, second leg, and this third swing is going to serve as the first leg of the swing. That will be A. And then the correction going down here will now serve, the whole of this correction will now serve as second leg of correction, B. Then there will now be a push to the upside, which is going to be C. Do you see that? That is the worst case scenario for gold. Worst case scenario for gold. That was the worst case scenario for gold. Okay, so now we are preparing ourselves ahead of, okay, what if our analysis that, okay, ABC is the minimum correction, that is what is playing out, there's going to be fall that's going to break below this former resistance, which is 1804 region. What if that does not play out? What is going to play out is the scenario I just showed you, and that is having something of this sort. This should be our A, this should be B, and this should be C. Then you see another correction to the downside, which should give you 0 A B C, which is going to terminate here and serve as B. Then you are now going to see another 3 leg to the upside, but this scenario is very slim. So, but let's prepare. What if it wants to happen? This is how we are going to know if that second scenario can come to pass. Can you see where I put my trend line? That is at 1836, 1836 price region. If market price can struggle to go above this price level, that's going to confirm to me that we are looking at a double zigzag. I mean a double correction this time around. But if that is not the case, then I'm not going to think market is ready to give us a double correction. So we are going to wait for the breakout here before we can think market is going to see go up. And that is why anyone that is currently in the gold sell should adjust his stop loss behind here. So the first invalidation level we have was here, because we thought the correction has terminated at this 1842 region. So if I were you, if I'm currently in this sell trade, I've picked it from this region, I will adjust my stop loss back to this region. That's how you trade actively. You monitor the market and you examine all possible outlook and scenarios. So that's how I will be trading it. So another thing we can do is we can try to join these together to form maybe a bullish trend, and see if there's going to be a retest after there was a breakout. This was a breakout. There may be a retest on this trend line before we see the sell continuation. That is another scenario also that is highly possible for gold. So you prepare your trade ahead before it starts appearing that way. If not, you are going to be surprised, and that element of surprise will make you like redundant. You won't be able to quickly say this is the next thing I want to do. So for trading the forex market is trading a volatile market that you have to be very, very reactive. You have to react to what the market is doing. So for you to be able to do that perfectly, you need to have different overview of the market and prepare ahead. So if the market is ready to do this, this is what we do. If this happens, this is what I'm going to do. So you look at different angles of the camera. You just don't think, oh, because this is what I see here, I have a flag pattern here, it must work out that way. If you continue looking at the market that way, you just continue gifting your money to the market. Though at times you might be fortunate and continue to make money, and you never can tell. One day you just lose all what you have made. So that's what I have learned from all those massive loss I have had in the market, times back. It happens that you have been making profit, you've been trading, you're making profit for some months consistently, and you just see it. Maybe within just 2-3 weeks, you have like some losing trade, and it's going to take away all what you have gained in terms of profit, just because you fail to acknowledge the fact that the market can go the opposite way. So you prepare ahead in your analysis. You have your first case scenario, which is the one you are currently trading, and that is what we have here on gold, that we're expecting the sell to get to minimum of this first target. And the second scenario is that it might not go that way. It might have to retest this trend line before we continue the sell. That's the second scenario. And the third scenario is that what if the whole of this ABC correction is not the end of the correction and the impulse has not started yet? Maybe this down move starting from this low of this one is first leg of correction, second leg, and this another correction downward. It can happen that way, and if it happens that way, there's going to be a bullish move to the upside. So to protect yourself from that kind of worst case scenario, you have to put your stop loss at this region of 1836. So that's it. That's what I have for you guys on gold. That's what I have for you guys on gold. Hopefully, let's see how it goes. Currently, gold is giving us how many pips? Let me check it out. 1828. It's currently trading at 78 pips. That's what we are having currently on gold. 78 pips on gold. That's fantastic. So another pair I want us to look at the USD related pairs. We have the DXY, USCHF, and Euro Dollar. I want us to look at them, each of these trade. Let's start from the DXY, US Dollar Currency Index. I'll take my time to explain them. Now for the 4-hour time frame now, I'm counting the whole of this as my wave 1, wave 2, and the all of this should be wave 3. I don't want to bore you guys with the counts, but what I'm expecting here is that there's a high possibility that this wave 3 has not completed yet, whereby there's going to be a correction to the downside. So if I take the all of this as wave 3, then what I'm expecting is that there's going to be a breakout here, this correction, then there should be a breakout here to the downside before we see a bullish move to the upside. So now I can't categorically say DXY, that's US dollar index, is ready to sell for the long term. It might just sell for, for the time being before skyrocketing to the upside. That's what I'm expecting for DXY. But let's look at it from the bigger outlook, from the daily time frame, on a different chart entirely. Let's look at DXY from Capital.com. Yep. This is a clean chart of DXY. And this is the daily time frame chart. Man, there's a lot of swings. I don't think I can start counting that now. Okay. I'm seeing something interesting right here on DXY, and that's something like divergence. If this divergence play out perfectly, that means dollar is going to fall massively. It's going to fall massively. That point that the recession that everyone is been shouting might happen for the US dollar currency pair. For US dollar pairs, yeah. Can you see that, guys? So this from the daily time frame actually. The whole of this move, as you see, is a correction to the downside, which was followed by an impulse to the upside. So the question now is, has this impulse ended yet? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Has this impulse, this bullish impulse, ended yet? So for us to answer that question, we have to go into the lower time frame on 4 hours. What's the beginning of the bullish trend? It began here and is currently trading around here, and this is the low, this is the high, this is the low, and this is the high. So we are trying to examine the waves, the movement, the market, the price action from this low up to this high. Fine. Okay. Fine. So for me, there are different ways I can count these. I already did this counting somewhere here on the 4 hour time frame. I was anticipating that this first move is going to be my wave 1 and this be my wave 2, and the whole of this move from this low up to this high serves as my wave 3. And I'm expecting a correction. Expecting a correction to serve as my wave 4. So now the first scenario now is that after this downward move, there was a correction downward, there should be a continuation to the downside. That's the first scenario, whereby we are going to be seeing a bullish move to the upside. But another thing that may happen is that the whole of this move to the upside might have completed the impulse here, and what we see here is the beginning of an impulse in some of wave 1 and the correction to the upside in terms of wave 2, and there's going to be a massive fall in terms of wave 3, and wave 3 we get to the minimum of 161.85 Fibonacci level. So the best thing we can do for DXY is just to fold our hands and wait. Best thing is for us to fold our hands and wait and see how the markets behaves in the next couple of days, before we have a clear outlook. Just the way we have been waiting for gold. We were waiting for gold throughout when it was having those moves. Even when it started the correction to the upside here, we were waiting for gold to complete it before we now decided on what to do with gold. So gold is currently experiencing a bit of reversal or retracement. Let's see how it goes. So guys, that's for DXY. Now let's look at the USD CHF, the analysis I have right here. For USD CHF, I'm assuming there's a correction ABC to the downside here, because I already told you guys yesterday that the whole of this move is my 1 and this is my wave 2. The whole of this move to the upside is my wave 3 correction, wave 4, wave 5. That's my major idea, my major outlook for USD CHF. So another thing that can happen apart from this is that we can see a possibility of correction to the upside and a move to the downside. And if this happens, that will negate our first scenario that the correction is completing somewhere here. So that means I will count the whole of this as wave 1, exactly as I did earlier, and the correction down here as wave 2, as I did earlier, and the whole of this move should be my wave 3, then this will be my wave 4, and this will be my wave 5. So I won't call this my wave 3. My wave 3 will be here, and this wave 4 is going to be here then, and the move to the upside is going to be my wave 5. So correction to the downside in form of ABC will not hold anymore. Then we will now be looking at wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. That is the second outlook for USD CHF. But for now, we still maintain all the analysis that what we are seeing currently is wave 4 and wave 5 is about to begin to the upside. Let me put everything back. Yeah, that's what I'm still having currently as my own view for USD CHF. But that doesn't mean you should just pick your trade on USD CHF now. No, that's not a trading signal yet. It's just general outlook and analysis on the market. Yesterday we already analyzed that USD CHF is going to fall, but we didn't predict it that it's going to go to this hub. I think that was because of the news, and then I was able to check again my count that something was missing, and fine, we have it here. And now let's look at what the market is going to do. Is it going to obey this region? Is it going to start going up, or is it just going to retrace a little bit to the upside and start falling downward? We never can tell. So that's what we have for USD CHF. Now, I think it's high time I check the euro-dollar trade and see euro-dollar analysis. I don't have any trade on euro-dollar. Currently, the only trade we have is gold that is open, and that is gold to the downside. And let's see how it continues to move. I've showed you the alternative scenarios for gold. In case this first case scenario is not going well, we are going to suffer a minimum loss because we have adjusted our stop loss to the beginning of this candlestick, and that is 1835.96. So right now for euro dollar, what are we expecting? Euro dollar chose us this correction yesterday, and as I analyzed it yesterday that this is an ABC correction to the upside, and ideally it should be followed by an impulse, and that's what happened. News or no news, I tell you, price action is the boss. So when you are good at your price action and you analyze, even you can predict the way the market is going to do after the release of the news. So before the news, I already knew there's going to be a move to this downside because we had this ABC already spotted, and that's exactly what the market did. So when the market was falling, it fell in terms of 5 impulse wave, so we called it our wave 5. So after this wave 5 has completed, we noticed there was a bullish move to the upside, and that bullish move might be a correction or it may be a beginning of another impulse. So I have to go lower for me to check whatever is happening there. So I went as low as 5-minute time frame to see. Counting these on wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and this should be this is not enough as my wave 5. And that is why I thought, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will be my wave 5. It's going to be an ending diagonal there. Ending diagonal. So we are left with 2 scenarios here. The first scenario is that we can have euro dollar going down after the breakout of this correction structure. Okay, after the breakdown of this correction structure, and the target is going to be minimum this first region. Not with the minimum target for now. That's the first scenario, possible scenario. So if this first possible scenario works out, that means we are having wave 1, wave 2, and this is wave 3, this is wave 4, and then we are having our automatic wave 5 to the downside. So let's see how it's going to go. At least I'm still here for the next 30 minutes, and let's see, maybe price can get there or not before we start going. Okay, let's leave euro dollar for now and see if this first scenario is going to work out. But let me quickly chip in the second outlook I'm having. The second outlook I'm having is that there is a possibility of A, B, C correction. That this 1, 2, 3 is going to stop here, and it's now going to be in form of A, B, C. So this will now be first leg of 1. This will now be like wave 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, and this correction is wave 2 and wave 3 to the upside. So that will work out. So far the low of this 1.03805 doesn't get broken to the downside, but if there is a breakout here, that scenario may not be able to work out again. So let's see how that goes in a couple of minutes. So we have been able to analyze the XY. We looked at the USD, CHF, euro dollar, and gold. That's the fourth. That means we have 4 analyses straight here. So what else do we have on our radar? We have the GBP pairs. Let's go straight to GBP. No. We haven't analyzed Bitcoin yet. Yeah. Let me go back to the 4-hour time frame. Yesterday, for those that followed me on the live channel, on the live stream, you will notice that I gave this call that Bitcoin is going to get to minimum of this first target, and this was my second target, and it got to the first target, and now it is reversing from there. So yesterday, when there was a bit of that bullish momentum, a lot of Bitcoin traders and holders were very happy that, oh, Bitcoin has started gaining momentum. But unfortunately for them, this morning Bitcoin started turning down again. So, but let's look at it and see what is happening. Actually, we already analyzed this yesterday. I spent the whole time yesterday explaining our Bitcoin chart. I said Bitcoin is currently in a correction to this region as wave 4, and that's the minimum it's going to get to before it continues to turn down. And lucky, if they are lucky enough, if we are lucky, it might break above this region and get into the second target. And I show you guys how I was able to derive these potential reversal zones for Bitcoin yesterday. I don't know if I have to go back to that. Okay, I don't think I can go back to that. Let me just continue with this analysis. It's going to take our time. So if you're interested in knowing the in-depth analysis that I did yesterday, just go back to the YouTube channel and check the video for yesterday. It's there. So for this now, the whole of this move, is it the correction I was talking about? I mean the wave 4 correction. Has it completed here? And this down move now, is it going to be the wave 5? That's the question. So I'm going to go to the lower time frame to find this, to figure this out. Just with me as I do it. Okay, just see how I'm going to arrive at it. First leg, second leg, 1, 2, 3. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Fantastic. It looks like an impulse. It looks like an impulse. This looks more like an impulse. Oh, at the same time, it looks more like an ABC. I see it. The first leg is A, B, and C. And this is wave 1, wave 2. Okay, wave 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. So this shows that this is a correction to the upside, and there's going to be a continuation to this downside. And here it is. But the thing is that what I'm seeing currently on a bigger time frame on Bitcoin is that there's a possibility for the bullish outturn. Yeah, there's a very much possibility for that, because let's start the count from here. You say this is wave 1 and this is wave 2. The bullish move is wave 3. Here is wave 4. This is wave 5. And we still have, we need a correction to the upside here, then a bullish move. So we are going to be saying something like this. This is going to fall and break this low. Then there's going to be a reversal again. Then it's going to retest this low before we now see that gigantic move. If there are buyers that are willing to push the price up at this very bottom, and that is if most of the investors in BTC are not yet fed up. That is if they haven't lost hope in the in Bitcoin to pump enough money to push the demand from this price region. But right now it's still going to retest the 20,000 price level in a matter of today or tomorrow. So we never can tell. Let's see how it goes. Someone asked about Ethereum. Ethereum is also doing the same thing, okay? I was expecting that the correction is going to go higher, but it didn't. So if that is the case, then you see that wave 3 has completed here, and this correction is a wave 4, and it's going to push to the downside, which is going to be a wave 5, something like this, before we now see a little bit of higher momentum to the upside. Then we are going to see the final push to the downside. Yeah. And that's the retest of like 900 lows. That's so disappointing for Ethereum. But there's nothing we can do about that. We just have to say it the way we see it. That's what we can see on the chart right now. If anything changes, I'm going to update you guys on the Telegram channel. In case you haven't joined our Telegram channel, just kindly do that, because that's where you get some of my technical analysis that you can even trade. So let me try and pull the signal channel here. So can you see it on the screen now? You can join us on t.me/forex lab channel. Okay, you can join us on Telegram right there. So guys, what else are we to examine? Okay, GBP pairs, that's pound pairs. I'm going to be looking at pound pairs in the next 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. Okay. back from the break. Sorry guys, I'm back. Yes. We stopped at Ethereum and I promised we are going to be looking at the GBP pairs. Pounds. Let's start from pounds against Australian dollars. Pounds Australian dollar, that's the GBP odd. It has been coming very, very complicated, you know. At first I was able to spot this triangle, which was followed by this move to the upside, and we successfully predicted the move to this upside, which happened, and we saw the reversal from here. But I didn't expect that the correction to this downside is going to go deep as it did here. I thought it's just going to be for the main time and it's just going to go back up. So let's see as the correction completed here, because I could see a massive bullish pull to the upside here. Yeah, so let's look at it one by one. This wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Wave 2, fine. Okay, let's look at A, B, C, D, E to the upside. Oh god, there's an impulse, there's a correction. Okay, let me do it this way. This all of this is an impulse, and this serves as a correction. Then we have another impulse downward here. So this looks like an A, B, and C, and this looks like the beginning of an impulse. So if I can say something on this pair, what I would say is that GBP Australia, you're going to see a reduction in momentum soon. It's going to be followed by an heavier, or let me say a bigger bullish momentum retracement, then bullish momentum to this upside. So that's what I will be expecting for GBP Australia. But do not let us conclude yet. Let's see other GBP pairs, and then we should compare and contrast them together. Let's look at GBP USD. Fine. 4-hour time frame for GBP USD. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fantastic. And then the whole of this is my wave 1, this is my wave 2 correction. The whole of this is my wave 3. Then the move to this upside is my wave 4. Obviously, very obvious the correction. Oh wow. This analysis has been there since yesterday, and that's what GBP is doing. It's obeying it perfectly. We're expecting the move to this upside to be followed by a move to the downside here, and that's exactly what GBP USD is doing. So my advice for you that you are trading GBP right now, if you are buying GBP USD, you are in a buy position there, I would advise you to lock your profits if you are in profit already. And for me that I'm not there yet, I'm going to be looking for a perfect entry to sell GBP USD, a perfect opportunity to sell GBP USD. So because if I go into the lower time frame and see the whole of this move starting from this low, that's 1.1935 to this high of 1.2205. Okay, I will label it as wave 1, wave 2 correction, wave 3, wave 4, and this is wave 5. But let me see, wave 3 should not be the shortest. Take my measuring tool and see. We have a 90% increment, okay? And what is wave 3? Hopefully it's above 90%. Fantastic. That was 113% to the upside. Good. How about wave 4 to wave 5? 146 to the upside. Fine. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starting from this low, I marked in red, to this high, marked in red also. So it's a complete impulse. As we all know, after there's a complete impulse, there's going to be what? A retracement to the downside. After this complete impulse ended here, we have a correction to this downside. So this correction also terminated here. So after the correction, you know, the cycle goes this way: impulse, correction, impulse. So now the whole of this is labeled as an impulse. Fine. Let me do it properly so that we can learn. Just use the trend line and put the label like impulse. Let me save the template as impulse. So this is the impulse, and this correction to the downside is my correction. Retracement or correction, you can call it any name you want to. Call it correction. Retracement. So this is correction, and after that we should expect another impulse to resume, and that is what is currently happening on GBP USD. So that is why we are seeing this bullish move. So the minimum target for this buy trade that's currently happening on GBP USD is here. GBP USD is going to go as high as this. You have no choice, and it's going to break above it and go over that red line. So what level can I predict is going to get to? So since I already know we are in a wave 4 correction where the whole of this down move starting from this red here, you know, some of the traders that are watching my analysis message me and they were complaining they don't even know where the wave is starting from. Okay guys, can you see the wave 1 started here and it ended here? So we call the whole of this swing price movement to be wave 1, and the correction to this upside we call it wave 2. But it's not a simple wave 2 this time around. Is like 3, 3, 5. I've already explained this on Monday. This is the illustration for a flat pattern. We call it a flat pattern. You can go to, okay, let me try and share my other screen here. Share. Oh, I can't share another screen. I have to leave this screen before I share the other one. Okay, so there's something we call flat pattern. Let me just put it here. Flat pattern is a correction structure, a corrective structure that has 3 waves. Wave 1 will have 3 minus wave, or let's say 3 sub waves. And the wave 2 will have 3 sub waves also, the opposite side. For wave 3, that one will have 5 impulse. 5 subwaves. Also go to the opposite. Okay. Yep. That's the rule for the flat pattern. So flat pattern is what you see that is happening currently here. So using these, we can take any of those tools, yes, to point out what we can see here, that we have in a flat pattern. So this correction as a whole is what I mean by flat pattern. This one, this pattern, that's what I mean by the flat pattern. Yeah? So wave 1, wave 2 here, and the whole of this move to the downside is my wave 3. So that being said, the whole of this move to the upside should be our wave 4. Let me go back to the smaller time frame so that we can see what's happening perfectly. Wow, can you see what just happened? That's GBP falling massively. I think that was due to the release of the interest rate decision. Let me check the news and see what happened just now in GBP and pounds, because oh wow, as expected, the interest rate decision has been made and there was an increase by 0.25%. Fantastic. So that is what caused this volatility, but that doesn't really concern us. What concerns us more is for us to see where the market is going and technically and analyze. So as we can see now, the whole of this is our first leg of impulse. This is correction. Still yet I'm expecting the bullish move to the upside, okay, because this is not a complete impulse. So this time around, what is happening now is a correction that we can call the double zigzag, or we call it, so I want you guys to see it properly. Okay, now permit me to remove all this trend line here. Yep. So let's see how market is going to react to the news before we continue our analysis. But what we have here is so straightforward, and is that the whole of this down move is going to be our correction, and after this correction ended, so far it doesn't go below this point, it's going to go up and it's going to complete our own wave 4. So that's what we are expecting. Interest rate hike or no interest rate hike, less concerned. That's what we are expecting. Then we can now pull our sell trigger for GBP downward. But for now, you might find it very hard to see GBP going to the upside, maybe due to the short-term market move because of the news, obviously. But regardless, it's all to obey our technical analysis. So that is GBP USD for now. Let me check what we analyze on GBP and see how the market has how the market has reacted to the news. Oh, fine, fantastic. So I saw this as ABC, fine. So what the market is telling us now is, with what we have currently here, then this will be a wave 1, this correction will be wave 2, this will be wave 3, and the move to this upside will be a wave 4 then. So let's see. So that means we are having an impulse with 1, with 2, with 3, with 4, and the fall here is our wave 5. So after this wave 5 completes, expect to push the upside. You get it? So it's as simple as that. But for me, I'm going to wait till like 1 hour after this time, because you know the news was just released like 5 minutes ago. So maybe that's the cause of this fluctuation that is happening. So let's see how it goes. So back to our analysis that we have already done, trades we have already analyzed. We have gold. Gold is still trading around those regions. Fine, fantastic. We already looked at the first case scenario for gold and the alternative scenario for gold, and we are currently trading the first scenario. We expect it to get to this minimum target as our take profit. Then if we are to look at the technical holistically without taking any minimum profit, this is going to be our first target and this is going to be our second target technically. Or for me, to protect myself against the second possible scenario that I've already explained some minutes ago, I said I have adjusted my stop loss to somewhere around here so that I know my exposure on gold is almost riskless. Okay, so I know I'm just in profit, and even if it goes south, I'm still in profit. So guys, that's what we have for gold. Then we analyze euro dollar. We're expecting that there's going to be a bearish move to the downside as the first scenario. Second scenario, if there's no bearish move, so far, if this is not broken, this low is not broken, then this 1, 2, 3 will now be our ABC in correction. Then we're going to be having something like this: first leg of correction, second leg of correction, and the whole of this will be third leg of correction. And that is if this former high has been broken. So we are now waiting to see how market is going to react at this price level and at this price level. That's when we are going to know what to do exactly. So now from this low, it also is going to continue going down to complete with 5, and in case if it breaks above this high, it's going to go as high as this. So those are the preparation we have for euro dollar. So guys, if you have any question, it's question time. You can put your question on the chat box and I can provide my own opinion about whatever you may ask. So guys, let's use the comment section now. Let's engage, please. Okay, or do you want me to just pull off the background music? If you are okay with the background music, say okay. Just type okay in the chat box. If you are not okay with it, I can remove it. Okay, okay, FX Lord is okay with it, fine. So any questions, guys? We are going to the end of the live show now because I've already analyzed what I have for you guys. So if you have any question, any pair you want me to look at, then we can quickly check them. We still have some time. Analyze Bitcoin, Ethereum, or GBP PS, GBP USD, and gold. currently trading gold. Oh, thank you so much, Perfect Love. Thanks to know that. Thanks to know you good. Good to know. Let me check trading view and see if the live session was available. Let's see. Wow, there have been a lot of message on trading view. Are you guys here? I can see you, Muktaza Hussein 910. Hi Muktaza. And I can see Divine Chinedu, Akash, and who else again? I see. It's going on well on TradingView also. So guys, on TradingView, if you have any question, you can just put it on the chat box. I'm going to check it and reply to it right now. All right, thank you, Mr. Zakaria. I really appreciate. Thanks. Mr. Ahmed. I really appreciate. This week has been very fantastic. You know, it was full of different moves and a lot of news. So we had the FOMC yesterday, and during midnight we had Australian dollar interest rate decision also. I haven't even checked their results. Let me see what was the result. And early this morning we had another spike move on Switzerland franc related pairs, because they had their interest rate decision also today, and some moments ago we had the interest rate hike decision too from the Great Britain Bank. That's BOE, Bank of England. So we have examined GBP across pairs, GBP or GBP USD, GBP CHF, and what we are expecting, or GBP card. So now for GBP card, okay, let me quickly look at this with 4 of GBP card here. It's going to be going up in terms of GBP JPY. Let me see if I can make any sense from GBP JPY, because GBPs are falling right now. Let me see if there's anything that makes sense with GBP JPY. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, for GBP JPY, this fall might continue for a while, you know, because it's obvious that this is a correction, and this is wave 1, wave 2, and this should be wave 3. Okay, this should be wave 3, but it should be wave 3, and ideally there should be a wave 4 correction, and that was what I was expecting. But with the current move, I think wave 4 is not holding. So another alternative that I can be looking at here is the flat pattern. And if you want the flat pattern to work out, if it's the one trying to work out here, then that means this sell scenario is going to continue to go as low as possible. Yeah, we're going to go as low as this. because what the expanded flat pattern tells us is that we are going to see the 3 waves to the move to the downside as it has happened here. 3 wave here, yes, ABC. Then we see 3 waves to the upside, 1, 2, 3. Then we are going to see 5 impulse to the downside. So the whole of this will be wave 1, and we will see wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 to the downside. So can you see that the sell scenario is going to be massive? So that means there's still a lot of room to the downside for GBP JPY if that scenarios work out. So if you now want to join the sell for GBP JPY, if you think you're okay with that analysis and you want to take advantage of that, I would advise you to wait for any moment of retracement to the upside. Then you can now join it. But for me, I don't have any reason to join the JPY. I don't have tangible reason to do so. Yeah, I don't. Because the major reason, in case if someone is wondering, the major reason is that he's in a course of a correction, a complex correction for that matter. So I don't think it makes any sense for me to join a complex correction when it has not ended yet. So my own strategy of trading is that I trade along the trend. I wait for the correction to complete, then I join the original trend. I trade with the trend. That's how I do it. So for me now, I'm going to wait for that last leg to complete, then I'm going to enter the bullish move. Any question from you guys on trading view? I will be glad to take questions. Questions. Okay guys, in the absence of no question, then let's see each other on Monday, the same time, that is 11 o'clock UK time, and we're gonna have another nice trading session. Hopefully we are going to be coming to the next session with more profits in our trading account. Okay, thank you guys for staying with me from the beginning to this very moment. I really appreciate your attendance and membership. See you again on Monday. Thank you for now.